Okay.
So is that how it's with the heart?
Can I ask you guys a huge favor? Can you just move your pig from there to there? Just because I'm not wearing my AirPods, so the audio on the, sorry. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. All right, guys, last day of pig.
You guys finish your
So, welcome everyone. Today we are going to be finishing up with our pig. And last week I did a different pig for cardiovascular and respiratory, so that's why that one's not cut into. But what we're going to be doing today is urinary and reproductive, which is a lot faster than some of the other dissections. So we're going to start by looking into our abdominal and pelvic cavities here. You can see here, this right here is the end of the large intestine. So this is the end of the colon, which is why we see some fecal matter kind of coming out right there. And then more dorsal to that, I'm going to cut down a little bit more on the side so it's a little bit clearer here. Remember, I already removed the intestines, already removed stomach, all those digestive organs. What we're looking at now are these two organs. These are one of the main part of the urinary system. What are these two organs? Any guesses?
Kidney?
Yeah, good. So these are the kidneys. You can live with just one kidney, but we're all born with two. And kidneys are one of those organs that you cannot live without. You have to have at least one functioning kidney, because what do they do? I know that we haven't learned about them yet, but like if you've read forward in the formative.
They kind of just like identify and remove waste and clean out the blood or filter out the blood.
Very good. Yes, they're constantly filtering out your blood. And they remove toxins from your blood. They create what? What do your kidneys create in order to get rid of all those toxins? Any guesses as to what our kidneys make in order to help us get rid of all of our waste? Any guesses? We know it's not fecal matter. That's coming out of the digestive system. What is another form of waste that exits this area of the body?
Pee?
Yeah, exactly. Urine. So your kidneys create urine. So they filter your blood. They create urine. In fact, the reason that your pee is yellow is because of all of the waste from breaking down old dead red blood cells that are floating around in your bloodstream. We got to break those down and get rid of those once they die, because remember, they only live for like 3 months. So I'm gonna cut out my kidney here.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like, what if is it always clear or no?
What's that?
Is it bad if your pee is always clear or no?
Ooh, good question. So like, the clearer it is, that means that there's more water that's diluting all of the other things that are in your urine. So the ideal situation is that your urine is like a little yellow, but mostly clear, because what that means is that your body has enough water in it that it's able to filter a lot, or to excrete a lot of that water. Your body's constantly trying to maintain a good water balance, and it does that with getting water, getting rid of water. Sorry, in your urine, and and in fecal matter as well, but mainly urine. We want it to be in the blood until it's being filtered out. Good question. So yeah, that just means you're really hydrated. Now, if someone has like perfectly clear urine all the time and they don't drink a ton of water, that could actually be a sign that some of the filtering processes are not functioning properly, or is that some of the structures in the kidney that are used to filter certain things and kind of select what to keep and what to get rid of might not be functioning properly. So if someone is like does not drink a whole lot of water and still has like perfectly clear urine, chances are they're going to start feeling not very good very soon after. But yeah, the goal is to have it be like somewhat clear, because that just means you're hydrated and your body can get rid of that water. Water is a very good way to stay healthy, obviously. Okay, I just cut through my ureter. Whoopsies. So I'm gonna snap a little picture here to share with you all. I just kind of dissected out one kidney. I'm gonna take this out in just a second. But before I do that, what I wanted to show you is that, so the kidneys are connected very heavily to the blood, which makes sense considering the fact that that they're filtering out your blood, right? So our two main blood vessels coming down on the dorsal side of the body, the aorta and the vena cava, which are a little hard to kind of see because the dyes didn't work super great, but you can see one main blood vessel here and another main blood vessel here. These like kind of go directly into, they have main arteries that branch off of those and that go into the kidneys. Those are renal arteries and renal veins. So renal stands for kidney. And that's so that we can get like really good blood flow through the kidney and out of the kidney in order to help us filter all of that out. As you can imagine, there's pressure is also important in that process. We got to have a certain amount of blood pressure in order to like encourage things to go out of the blood and into the urine, or into the kidney, I should say. So your kidneys filter it all out, and then they produce your urine, like we mentioned. So once they produce urine, urine will actually travel down this thing here, which is called the ureter. We have one on each side. And then urine will be stored here. Where is urine stored? What organ do you think this is? Now I'm just trying to get this brain. Where do we store our urine before we excrete it?
Is it not the bladder?
Yeah, exactly. That's the bladder. Yep. So the bladder is down here. Now, you may have heard of something called kidney stones. Kidney stones are when, I'm getting a good picture for you guys to share. Kidney stones occur when, so kind of to what you were asking, Celeste, if someone is severely dehydrated, what can happen is that like all the salts and all of the things that are kind of being filtered out of your blood, they're in such a higher concentration than the water. And so they're not able to like dissolve in the water like most salts and most ions do. And so what can happen is they'll actually form like a solid chunk. And if that solid like chunk forms in the kidney, it'll eventually try to go down into the bladder, but it can get stuck in this ureter. And so what happens when that gets stuck in the ureter, say right here, the kidney is going to keep producing urine, but it won't be able to drain down into the bladder. And so when the kidney keeps producing urine, it actually gets bigger and bigger and bigger and increases in size. And that causes extreme lower back pain in someone. Now, what can happen? Usually two ways to kind of fix that. If it's small enough, eventually the pressure from all this urine will push the kidney stone down into the bladder. Some people have trouble passing that then from here into the urethra, which is what takes urine from the bladder to the exterior part of the body, which we can't really, oh, we can kind of see actually. So it can get stuck in the urethra. Another thing that can happen though is if it's too big so that the urine can't actually flush it out, they'll have to go in and surgically remove it. Usually at that point, the pain is so extreme that the person would have probably gone to the doctor. So that, is usually something that they'll kind of know what to do right away. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out the kidney here. Come here, kidney. Yay. That's a good little shot. So here's the kidney. This is, again, just one of them. And then I'm going to just kind of slice this open. All right, no, not as easy to see in here. Usually they're a little bit easier, but in here, I wish we could have spent more time on the kidneys. I wish we could have spent a lot more time on a lot of different things. But in here are the little structures that are doing all of this filtering. So you can kind of see these little like spots. We call these renal pyramids. In the adult, or even in the child human, they're shaped a little more like pyramids. And in here are where like microscopic structures called nephrons are located, and nephrons do all of the filtering out of your blood and producing of urine. Very, very, very important organ. Something you cannot live without and is often taken for granted. It's my favorite organ. It's a true story. So there's the kidney. Hooray! Again, we have another one back here, and then the urinary bladder here. Urethra is underneath here. That carries urine from the bladder to the exterior part of the body. So, any questions on that before we move on to reproductive? Okay, so the last system we're going to talk about is reproductive. I think we identified the sex of our pig the first day, but does anyone remember? This is our pig from the first day. You can kind of tell by looking here. Anyone? Does anyone remember? Male, female? Any guesses? Alan, what do you think?
Can you put it closer to?
Uh-huh. Yeah. So I'm just gonna lift this up. This is what, oh, go ahead. What's that?
Male, right?
It's a good guess. You would think so, given like this thing that kind of looks like testes and then like a penis, right? But it's actually not. This is actually a female. And this is what we call the urogenital papilla. Right here, which is some of the external pig female anatomy right there. Okay. And then what we're going to do is kind of look into, like, here is the vaginal canal. So we've got a female here, which means that this is like part of this dissection is actually already kind of done because these things are very close to a lot of these other organs, and we've already cut into this. If we had a male, we would have to be like cutting in through the testes on kind of the exterior part of the body. So I'm going to go ahead and cut away at the pelvic cavity just a little bit more, and we'll see if we can get a little bit of a better view of what's in here, which is kind of hard at this angle for you guys. Gonna cut away at a little bit more muscle. So yes, the biological sex of our pig is female. If you take a look down here on either side of the colon, you'll see these little kind of squiggles. See those squiggles? Any guesses as to what those are? No guesses as to what our squiggles are? I'm going to cut through our ureters here. Umbilical arteries. No guesses? Little needle-like things, considering we're looking at a female. No guesses? Okay, well, let's try this. What are some of the female reproductive organs?
Fallopian tubes.
Yeah, good. These are the fallopian tubes, exactly. So like these, I know they're kind of hard to see. These are really small. I'll get some good pictures for you guys. But these right here are the fallopian tubes, okay? Which means that up here at the very, very top are the what? This little thing here. And then on here, this little structure here.
Is it the ovaries?
Yeah, good. Those are the ovaries. So, so our pig right now actually has all of the eggs that that she would have had over her lifetime in those ovaries. And then once she reached sexual maturity, those eggs would have been released, usually one at a time. I don't remember what their reproductive cycle. It might not have been one at a time, actually. I say that, and I don't think that's actually true now that I think about it, because they have litters of a lot of pigs.
I have a question.
Yeah. Yeah, I said that, and then I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So they release more than one egg. Humans mostly release one, which is why most of the time people have.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do they increase in size as you get older, or do they stay the same?
The ovaries?
The eggs inside of the ovaries.
No, the eggs actually, they are almost in like a type of dormant state, waiting until like the very final stage of maturity happens right before those eggs are released. So they have like someone is born with all of the eggs that they're going to have for a lifetime, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all of those eggs are like ready to be fertilized. That's a great question. Yeah. Any other questions about that? Great questions. All right, I'm going to try and cut down in here a little bit more. The uterus is quite small at this stage, and is also very hidden, and I usually tend to like cut through it on accident, so I'm going to try and get to it. But and then I also have pictures from a male pig if you guys would like to see those. All right. Okay, there we go. All right. So the uterus is, again, not very developed at this point in our pig. I'm gonna cut a little bit more. Sorry, guys. Any other questions on reproductive while I'm searching for the uterus here? Meilani, do you really think you're gonna get away? I'm just kidding.
I'm like, yes, I do.
They're like having trouble identifying things, so they're trying to figure out what's what. Okay, there we go. Okay, the uterus is right down in here. So I'm kind of trying to like pull it out a little bit. So both of those fallopian tubes lead down into the uterus, which is where babies develop. Eggs are fertile. Oh, actually, eggs are fertilized in the fallopian tubes, and then the egg travels down and kind of embeds in the walls of the uterus there, where development occurs. Obviously, the uterus changes shape significantly. The size of a human uterus is about the size of someone's fist. And then obviously once pregnancy occurs, it grows significantly after that. So I know that was very quick and it's very hard to see some of these structures, but do you guys have any questions on urinary or reproductive before I go touch base with everyone in the classroom? Okay, I will get some pictures for you all of our reproductive organs, urinary organs. Those will be shared with you a little bit later on this morning. I'll also share mail with you, and I'll make sure I label them which is which, because unless you've like seen it, it can be kind of hard to distinguish between. Okay, I'll be back in about 15 minutes to kind of wrap up. Okay, so I'm gonna stop recording. Thank you all. And I will be back. Okay. Oh, I just touched my computer with my gross glove. Okay, I'll see you guys.